walk with me, yeah. Oh, I must be dreaming, dreaming. I must be dreaming, oh, dreaming. I must be dreaming, oh, dreaming.
Hi vlog. What's up, y'all? My door open right now because it's hot and I'm trying to wait for my air to come in, but y'all already know by the looks of it, this is about to be one of those little talking videos. It's not even really a vlog. I just got something to say. So in the last vlog when I was out, was it the last one or was it the one before that? I think it was the one before that, when I went to Atlanta to go to a pool party and we were at the park and all that. I briefly mentioned my internship, but in this video I'm gonna go into depth about my internship because when I post like my day in the life videos on TikTok, a lot of people comment and ask me like how I got my internship, what I be doing there and all that. So that's what this video is gonna be about. Anywho, I was working at the district attorney's office from June 3rd through the 28th. It was a 4-week internship. Y'all know I work as well. I have a full-time job, so I requested a leave of absence from my job and I was able to do that with that. First things first, I knew during the summer I wanted to be productive and I wanted to do something that involved me working with my field. And so I went on Google and I just did like some research. So I looked up like district attorneys, no, not district attorneys. I think I looked up like internships at the courthouse or Gwinnett County court internships or something like that, like a whole bunch of searches. And I remember when I did meet the district attorney back in like December, my pastor mentioned that she may have some internships going on as well. So I was just like keeping that in mind and I was on the lookout for it. And so I applied to it, I think like sometime during the second semester. I think the applications opened up in February. And when people say it's all about who you know, it definitely is, because I'm not trying to downplay myself as if my resume didn't get me in, but I know that I know people that know her. So I had those people like contact her because at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. And I knew I wanted to be a part of this experience because once you're getting your foot in the door with one thing and you add that on your resume, it's just going to make you look good from here on out. I'm working at the district attorney's office at 19 years old. Like, what? That's going to open so many more doors for me, right? So now I'm going to just talk to y'all about what I was doing there, because you know, at the end of the day, we're not certified, like we're not paralegals, we're not really certified to do a lot of things, so we weren't able to really work with a lot of the stuff. It was more so what we were able to see and learn from being at the district attorney's office, if that makes sense. So overall, it was a wonderful experience, 10 out of 10, and I did learn a lot. So I'm gonna go into detail about what it is I was doing and stuff. We're gonna backtrack just a little bit because I'm trying to make sure I'm answering all the questions that people are asking me. So when I applied, they didn't really say anything about a paid internship yet. After I got accepted, they also let me know that there's a different application to see if I was able to get paid during that time that I was gonna be there. So I applied for that and then got accepted for that as well. So I guess it was just different for different people. Like some people were there for college credit, some people were getting paid while they were there. So to answer y'all question, it was a paid internship for me. And I could stay to get college credit, but because of my advisors are not texting me back, it's like kind of pointless like for me to just be there, and I don't know if I'm gonna have a guaranteed, y'all know what I'm trying to say, shit, right? Okay, anyways, so now we're gonna fast forward back. Sorry guys, it's probably a lot, but y'all gotta stay with me. So the first week, the first day, it was a Monday. I think it was the 3rd. Yeah, it was the 3rd. It was a Monday. We went into the grand jury room, you know, where everybody's excited, and I already met a lot of the girls at the orientation, so it wasn't nerve-wracking or anything like that. Like, we clicked during orientation and been with each other ever since. Like, so first day, we're in the grand jury room. They're telling us what we're about to be doing for real. Because during orientation, like, we thought we were going to get the whole rundown of what we're going to be doing. But it was more interns there that wasn't working with the district attorney's office. So it was just people that's going to be working with Gwinnett County in general. So like human resources, communications, community service, all that other stuff that was at the internship as well. So we didn't actually go into detail about what we were going to be doing in each department, you know. We did get our badges and stuff like that, access to the district attorney rooms and all that, like during orientation. But the day of the first day, the day of grand jury, they split us up. So half of us went with investigators, the other half went with this advocate room called like victim witness or whatever. So sorry, my hand. So I was assigned an investigator. Her name was Christina, and I was just kind of like shadowing her. But while we were in the grand jury room, they informed us that like a trial was about to be happening that week, and it was a very intense judge. Like, you know, clearly we're working with the district attorney's office, so we're gonna be in the trials as well. So they're just letting us know, like, this particular judge, like, you cannot exit into her courtroom, like, only during breaks. Like, when you're in there, you're in there. So if you need to use the bathroom and anything, you need to do that before you go into her her courtroom, because she don't play that shit. So my investigator, like, all the investigators didn't really think it was necessary for us to be with them, because, you know, most of us want to be attorneys, but they are assigned different divisions, and in those divisions I think they have 2 attorneys. So it was like we were able to connect with them. At the end of the day, it all worked out. I was probably with my investigator for all of like 2 days, but she really wanted me to get an experience. So when I was telling her like I wanted to meet up with my friend for lunch and stuff, she ended up calling my friend's investigator, you know, and asking him like, oh, well, what are you doing? Like, and he had some interesting cases on his desk. So when I went down with him, I was able to like read over the casework, look over the evidence. He'll have us do like put 2 and 2 together, watch the interview, the interrogations and all that. And then we started watching trials, y'all. Oh, and I went to the morgue and the police station, the sheriff's office, the jail. What else? Where else we go? Yeah, all that. We did all that as well. So it was definitely a time, but I'm trying to get to the good stuff, because the trials is really the good stuff. Like, yeah, we were assigned investigators, and then, like I said, I went with Christina, and then eventually I went with Greg, and we started watching this trial. If y'all are familiar with the missing girl, I believe it was like 2020. She was a 16-year-old high school girl. She went missing, and then 7 months later, after they found her remains, like, a police officer was arrested. People are probably like wondering if I can talk about the trial or not, because I'm not gonna lie, it was live streamed, so they did see me on the news, and they were asking me questions, and they're just like, but can you talk about it? And I'm gonna say, one, like, all trials are public records. So the fact that they are open to the public, like the evidence is presented and all that, yes, I can talk about it, but as it was happening, I wasn't going to talk about it. I'm going to touch a little bit of basis on it, like the facts of the case, but I'm not even going to go into depth about it like now either. So like I said, missing girl, her remains were found a couple months later, like 7 months later. Police officer, yeah, I'm sorry, this man's throwing me off, because if y'all see how I was looking earlier, it's because this nigga was looking at me. Well, I was looking at him because I was trying to figure out who the fuck he was. And so he was standing outside of his car for a little bit, and I'm like, I wasn't really paying attention to him because I'm paying attention to my phone because I'm telling a story. So he eventually get in a car like minutes later, back up. I'm thinking he's leaving because the gate's this way, so he went that way. Time goes by like a minute, and he just comes back. Anyways, the facts of the case. 6-year-old girl went missing couple months, about 7 months later, after her family trying to like search for her and all that. A police officer's gun was found at the scene, and being that he reported the gun stolen, they thought like maybe, you know, whoever stole his gun could have did this. But the facts just kept facting. Like, it's not funny. It's really not funny. Because that's so sad. Like, R.I.P. Susanna Morales, for real. And it's just a sad story. So if y'all want to know more about it, literally just search up what happened. But all the evidence, it's like, y'all know I'm trying to go to school for criminal defense. Oh, and we're going to talk about that too, because I'm tired of people trying to come for me for wanting to go into the criminal defense. I'm sorry, I cannot be a prosecutor. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not putting nobody in jail. Like, I'm sorry. So anyways, at the end of the day, people are gonna have their opinions, like when they see little clips and stuff online, or little facts online, or sometimes it may not even be facts. Like, I'm not saying that's what it is in this case, but I want to also let y'all know that this is why trials are there. Because once you get to hearing stuff on the news, your mind automatically labels them as a criminal, as a murderer, as a rapist, as whatever. And sometimes it don't even be that. Like, in this case, it was that. But in this case, yes, it was that. But there are other times where people really just hear things and run with it. Don't even look at the trial. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are in them comments of stuff of this particular case haven't even watched the full trial. And that just actually blows me, because it's just like, y'all need to start learning how to look at the evidence presented or whatever. So that was that. And then the next week, we got switched to victim witness. And with victim witness, they're just basically advocates for people who are either witnesses of crimes or victim of crimes. That's just the department we were in, but we practically were doing the same thing. So that next week, the trial continued. So I just asked whoever was in charge of us, can we go back into the trial? It was me and Shania. We were literally in there from the start. So I asked her, can we go back for the trial? She let us go back in there. And like I said, the evidence was definitely evidencing, I was trying to be optimistic, not necessarily in the sense of the girl don't deserve justice, because she definitely deserves justice, but let's make sure the right person is, being put away, and he's being charged for the things that he should be, charged with. And so clearly I'm being optimistic as a criminal defense attorney. I'm finding ways that I will argue this case, but some people are literally just sick. Some people are just sick in the head. And the scariest part is we literally live around these people. So that's that. Like I said, I'm going to leave that at that. Because there's some things that I know that wasn't presented in trial because I was working with the office. So I don't want to accidentally say the wrong stuff, because I can't really remember. I remember most of what was in trial, but not everything. Y'all know my memory is bad. But all I know is I really feel like he felt guilty. Having to talk about it with your girlfriend, talking about this dead girl, this missing girl with your girlfriend, talking about it with other police officers that don't even work in Gwinnett, constantly looking up stuff. Your actions give guilty, but then your other actions give... He was just a sociopath. I can't even really say too much, but he was a sociopath, because the shit this nigga was doing, anyways, we also got to sit in on plea hearings and all that. But after that first trial that we've experienced, the heinous of the heinous, the most interesting, everything else got boring. And it's kind of insensitive for me to say that, but literally everything else, I was just however, I did shed a tear in this one murder trial. I can definitely say everybody that I've been telling, talking to during my experience with working at the DA's office, they're like, bro, I don't understand how you can sit in here and do listen to child molestation trials and murder trials and rape trials and all of that. And I don't know either. There's some things that definitely do get to me. Well, a lot of things get to me. There's sometimes I'm able to just suck those tears back, hold them back. But during this one trial, I just let it out. I couldn't help it. So it's definitely heartbreaking to see a lot of the things that we see. But being at this courthouse and interning does not make me... It did not change my mind about nothing. Like, if anything, it made me want to do what I'm doing more, because that's just how interesting it is. So, that was that. That was kind of all we were really doing. Visiting the different places. So, like, the transportation of Gwinnett, the jails. Like, we actually went to the back jail. The precinct and the morgue. Y'all, I almost threw up the morgue. And then, like I said, the pleas and all that. And the best part was getting to dress up, like, I was looking too good. Okay, so hopefully that answered most of the questions. I'm trying to make sure, like, that's really it. Like, I know a lot of people were able to, like, file things and tracker, put things into evidence and help, like, write statements with their investigators. But for the most part, I was sitting in trials and networking with criminal defense attorneys and all that. Okay, so if y'all have watched my previous vlogs, I've actually touched base a little bit about why I want to go into criminal defense. First things first, I know for a fact I want to be an attorney. I don't really have a passion for corporate law. That's boring. Entertainment law, no. I know for a fact I want to be in a courtroom. So, family law don't really interest me. Juvenile court don't really interest me, even though, I can do criminal defense for juvenile too. But the main things that interest me is criminal and civil rights. Because not civil law. Like torts and all that, I don't want no parts. I used to think I wanted to be working with, like, children in the medical field and all that. Like, I've always said that since I was in 4th grade. I think, like, 8th grade, I went and joined this young lawyers program through my church, and we visited schools and we did mock trials and all that, and I just fell in love with it. At that point, I still didn't know what kind of attorney I wanted to be, but I think in 2019, like, was I in middle school still? Or I think I was still in middle school, or I was in 9th grade. This Netflix series came out. As y'all can see, I'm holding back tears, not from crying, but I'm literally like, I need to cough. Okay, had to get myself together. In 2019, this Netflix series came out, and it was called When They See Us, and it just kind of, like, portrayed and demonstrated all the injustice. And although this was, like, back then, it's still happening now. Like, after that, I did my research on mass incarceration. I had a teacher that, like, really loved my passion for that. So I remember I had her class that first semester, because at my high school, we only did, like, the quarter system. So we had different teachers, like, different semesters. I had her that first semester. That second semester, I had a PE class. And I would not go to that class. Like, I asked my teacher if I can go to her class and work with her for work study or something like that. And she would have me listen to podcasts, reading books, and all this, everything, mass incarceration, criminal justice. And I just knew that I could not live with myself to know that I'm putting people in jail. Like, remember that I said that? Because I'm also going to tell y'all what the investigator told me. And that's the only thing that's having me change my mind or whatever, or at least, like, question, am I sure about going into defense? But that was my mindset back then. Like, my mindset back then was just, I can't put people in jail. Like, I would, whether or not they're innocent or guilty, I would rather 100 guilty people go free before I lock up one innocent person. You get what I'm saying? So I understand that there are criminals out there that deserve to be in prison. Like, they deserve to be locked up. But I think people fail to realize that, 1, people are falsely accused. 2, there are people serving life sentences for drugs. 3, there are people serving long sentences for such, crimes that aren't even harmful. And the reason why is because they had shitty attorneys, or because they decided to just take a plea instead of going amongst peers that were going to decide whether or not they were going to be in jail longer. So it's like there's so many different reasons for me wanting to go into criminal defense. And I hate that when I mention I want to be a lawyer, it's either, oh, you working for the feds, or, oh, you're okay with defending murderers and rapists. Because, like I said, it sounds bad when you put it that way, like murderers, rapists, and all that. Because at the end of the day, there are people who do those things. Rape and all that. And as for murder, I think we fail to realize, like, mental health is real. Self-defense is real. Kill or be killed. Like, some people, like, it's just so many different, like, perspectives that you have to look at versus just deciding, no, that person killed somebody, they need to do. Were they in danger? Like, were they in immediate danger? Like, were they saving themselves? Like, I think people fail to realize that. Now, as for rape, the only excuse for rape is if it is falsely accused, like if it is for a fact alleged. Anything other than that, if you decided to continue to force yourself upon somebody after you tell them no, then no, I'm not, at the end of the day, no, like, no, I don't play like that. But as a lawyer, as somebody that's going to do my job, am I going to let that one thing stop me from wanting to do what I want to do? So if it comes down to, like, having to defend people like that, y'all have to think about it. We're all citizens. We all are entitled to due process no matter what. So, like I said, it could be the heinous of the heinous crimes. Somebody have to represent that person. Like, they can encourage them to take a plea. But at the end of the day, everybody needs a lawyer. So, was that lawyer be me or not? Am I going to be smiling for trying to get a... If I know for a fact somebody did what they did, am I going to be smiling while I'm doing my job? No. But do I understand whether or not I want to do it? Do I understand that person is entitled to due process? Yes. And so, the main points that I'm trying to get at is that there are people who actually deserve attorneys that will help them, because they don't deserve to be spending the rest of their lives in jail or spending 10 plus years in jail for things that are really harmless. You get what I'm saying? Or they don't need to be spending time in jail when, in fact, they need help. Like, they need psychological help. So, I think you just need people in the system to, like, care enough. And a lot of people don't care. And that's why it's plea out. I don't know. Now people are pleading and have a record for a crime they really didn't commit. Now, the only reason why I mentioned that I'm somewhat questioning whether or not I want to continue to go in criminal defense is because I was working with this investigator for, like, my last week, and he wasn't even my investigator. Like, I was just with him because we just kind of started doing anything. I ain't going on. But he was just like me. Like, we grew up in a certain environment, so certain things, like how certain people in the district attorney's office will get the ache from, like, drug dealers or whatever, that was kind of normal to us. Not saying it was right, but it's just like, it didn't really move me. Like, so he was kind of like me, and I got to connect with him, and basically he just asked me, well, he compared himself to the situation. Like, he went into detail about him being from the hood and all that, and now he's a cop. And his thing is, I use that to an advantage. People, you can help people, is basically what he was saying. Like, how a lot of cops will arrest people for the smallest things. He'll be the one to be like, let me teach you something. Like, let me guide you to the right path. Like, I'm not gonna rush you this time. I'm gonna give you a warning. I'm gonna learn something from this. So he kind of used that in the sense of me going into a prosecution. He's like, one prosecutor might say this man deserves 15 years. But you might be the person to be like, no, what are you trying to give him 15 years for? I don't think he deserves that. You can save people's life just by doing that. And that's true. But at some point, I'm still going to have to prosecute people and put them in jail. So, I don't know. That's the only reason why I'm, questioning it still or whatever. But, yeah. So, for that reason, y'all, I don't know what it is about prosecution that I just can't deal with. I think it's also because I give people the benefit of the doubt too much. And I noticed that with my own life. Like, people can do some things, but it's like, damn, do I really think they deserve... Like I said, it all depends on the evidence, the facts, and all that. But we're gonna see how it works out, because I don't have no doubt in my mind that I don't want to be a lawyer. Like, I for a fact want to be a lawyer in a courtroom. I don't want, like I said, I don't want to do corporate, and I want to be in a courtroom arguing my case, arguing my facts. So we'll just see. We'll definitely just see. But hopefully I answered all the questions that everybody had. It was definitely a wonderful experience, and I met so many people. Honestly, like, so many people. If you guys have any further questions, just let me know, and maybe I'll make another video, or I'll probably just answer them in the comments. So if y'all watched through this entire video, y'all already know I fuck with y'all the long way. And if you're not subscribed to my channel already, go ahead and subscribe for me. Press that subscription button, like and comments, and continue to tune into the rest of my videos.